gặp đây là người rất là khó.
My brother passed away.
Chị sẽ ghen kiểu là sợ mất.
Yeah, I love Sue.
You can try.
I can try.
But then, so my first question is going to be for Sue. Okay, so who is Saji and why is he in Vietnam? Yeah, you're gonna have to answer it in Chinese. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, you're gonna have to answer it in Vietnamese. Right?
He is my boyfriend and we have been dating like 10 years.
I met through Tinder because I
wanted to follow.
Because I did the Tinder thing.
Oh,
I did the Tinder. Someone was like, so I was talking to her, and then she asked me to go over to Zalo, and I did. And then she like asked me to send all these like pictures to her, and I'm like, this must be fake.
Oh wow.
So you're really lucky you actually found someone as beautiful as Sue.
At first, like I almost like swipe left on her.
Did you know about this?
Yeah, she told me.
Like, oh, I look a bit too colorful. But I try to get some girls know more about Vietnam. So maybe I should give him a chance. Just talk, right? No.
So like out of intuition, I like that. See, luckily you had that last sentence.
Yeah.
You because left,
everything else. Everything.
Almost.
Oh, that's a feel to be dating someone, the hottest girl on the football team. Okay, and tell us a little bit about.
I think the Sue very highly. And she's just such a good person. She puts herself in other people's shoes, very patient and understanding. Through our relationship, I had the chance to grow so much in our relationship. And I love Sue. She's like, and the dating Sue is like, it's awesome because
you heard that he said that live on camera. He loves Sue.
Yeah,
that's real. That's real because you know why? It just came out.
How people interact with Sue, and I'm just like, I'm sure like I got the right one because it's just that good energy, that good karma. And you see people like, hey Sue, like wherever she does anything. Like we were doing paintball fighting and they're like, go Sue. I'm like, out there, dude.
Hey guys, I exist. Like, when he's jealous, khi mà Saji ghen tuông á, Saji sẽ làm sao?
Đôi lúc thì Saji sẽ ghen kiểu là sợ mất. Nên là khi mà ảnh ghen vậy thì suy nghĩ về vấn đề đó kiểu bị overthinking rất là nhiều. Kiểu là mình có làm tốt hay không? Mình suy nghĩ về bản thân á là tiêu cực. Là mình không tốt cái này, mình không tốt kia, xong mình tự đem so sánh mình với cái người đó, kiểu là không có tự tin về bản thân là nhưng mà cũng may mắn là thanh niên không có im lặng. Thanh niên sẽ hỏi thẳng là vậy thì nhưng ý là thanh niên cũng chịu nói ra chứ không phải là im lặng rồi giữ trong lòng.
And the reason I did that was because, I asked you about the jealousy, and then I asked the question in Vietnamese was really because I wanted to gauge, because obviously you don't understand what we're saying completely, right? But in situations like that, some personalities will come out in their face. Like people were actually like, what the fuck are you talking about me, right? So that's why that was there for. But
you know how to talk to her about it. You do ask the questions like, hey, is it me, and things like that. And I really admire that. There's a culture of lashing out. They're like very jealousy over anything. They lash out of anger. Người con trai Việt Nam họ xử khi mà ganh tị hay là cái gì đó họ giận hờn, right? And I feel like there's a better way. And I'm not trying to tell anyone what to do or how to do things, but I think phụ nữ Việt Nam deserve that respect of at least having that opportunity to explain or talk it out, right? And I'm really glad that you're actually setting a trend towards that culture. When you do get jealous, like what are you feeling?
Sometimes overthinking usually.
I like that, overthinking. So when you say overthinking, is it that thoughts create your reality, right? So if I'm attracted to Sue, right? Sue has nothing to do with my attraction to her, hypothetically. Nhưng mà Song thích Sue because Sue là một người đẹp, right? And I'm hitting on Sue, doesn't mean that Sue has responded to my courtship, đúng không? So for you to overthink, doesn't that create a reality inside your mind? Like, oh, Sue responded, so oh, you're getting jealous now because she's responding to this guy, or maybe she likes that guy. So when you say overthinking, that's what I'm getting at. Sometimes I have to do that because my ex, she was really hot, right? And she's successful, and guys hit on her, and then I get upset and I get jealous. I'm like, but I learned to appreciate that because of course guys are gonna hit on Sue. She's hot, she's intelligent, and she plays football. Jealousy is a good thing. It shows that you care about Sue. But at the same time, you're mature enough to understand that, my girl's hot. So people are hitting on her, and that's a good thing.
It's kind of like a lineage of the men in our family. I seen my uncle be abusive. I seen my, this is my mom's side, I seen my grandpa be abusive. I just want to break all the bad
like stereotypes,
patterns, the bad patterns from my parents, because you get what my parents and my family. I want to cut it off so next generation, my kid don't have no clue what that is. I say see it outside. Why are they doing that? Like.
Now, what made you come to that realization where you said, you know what, I have to change because unless I do, the next generation won't. Like what really brought you to that one moment where you said, because leaving your home, Florida, to Vietnam is not an easy decision, obviously. What was that defining moment for you?
Let's see. Defining moment. But well, my brother passed away.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we
I see some bad patterns in the family that led up to this, and I wanna make sure I can be the best version of myself, so I can help everyone else and also stop the pattern. I just want to see what a life would be like if really good childhood. Cause
I admire that about you guys. I think that's one of the first things I admire when you guys told me your story was that Sue's support for you, and it's something that I'm obviously missing, and sometimes it gets super fucking lonely, like because
didn't belong, had to move on to somewhere that I could be. Open my eyes and see all of the beauty in front of me, you've been back, all the energy that
just really lonely for you to talk to. You guys know my journey right now. It's just a lot of and not having there someone like Sue to support me like that, I just feel like I'm missing out a lot. And some nights it's just so fucking lonely, but I'm really happy for you. And I think that, do you feel like this support comes from an understanding of, Saji's background, and you sort of know what he needs and what to avoid, and to avoid like conflicts with him, because you know his love language? Let's talk about love language. Like, so in the 5 love languages, which one would you describe Saji's love language to receive, and which one does he give out?
Can you list out the different languages real quick?
Okay. So we have the first one is word of affirmation, okay, and then we have quality time, and then we have gifts. Gifts here doesn't mean like presents. It's actually gifts of thoughtfulness. You go somewhere, you think about Sue because you saw this item, you buy it, say, hey, I thought about you when I saw this. So gifts like that, thoughtful gifts, right? So quality time, gifts, act of service, meaning like, for example, I like cleaning. I like cleaning and washing dishes. So I always do that, and I think my girlfriends have always loved that because that's an act of service, right? They feel like you care about them. And then the 5th one, touch. So like physical touch. So for me, mine is word of affirmation, meaning I love it when my partner or someone else talks to me or gives me words of, hey, you're doing great, hey, good job, thank you, things like that. So that is my love language that I love to receive. What I normally give is before was doing things for them all the time, like act of service. That was my way. But now, when I understand the 5 love languages, what I do is, I find out the person's love language, and then I focus on that. So, what is Saji's love language?
Yeah, he loves that I take care of him, I cook for him. I think that's like words of affirmation. And also, words
So-
of affirmation. I think not touch. Is it touch? No, not touch.
Touch.
Just
You
a
like
bit.
being touched?
Just a
You
bit.
don't like being
Just a
touched?
bit.
Sometimes.
Touching, I think it's more of like, cuddling time. Some people really don't like to cuddle, but I love to cuddle. Like, I'm a cuddler. So, are you a cuddler?
Not really.
Not really. So, yeah. So,
But he like.
So touch is your thing, right? So do you guys think, like, it's when you know each other's love language, does it make communication a lot easier? Because now you know how to communicate with each other, right?
Yeah.
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 So the next questions I have are going to be a little bit delicate, right? Because I feel like it's a touchy subject. It obviously has to do with cultural differences. But as far as parents goes, I mean, are your parents any indifference about who you date? As far as, do they have to be traditional Vietnamese people, and like what are the hurdles, and how what are the hurdles first?
Well, I gotta prove to my parents, especially my dad, that like I'm living a good life. Also, I'm happy. I have to prove that. But I do something a bit to my dad, like I'm kind of like dating for dinner. And my dad and my mom like 100% traditional. So I gotta like prove for myself first, and then like I introduce him to my dad.
So I'm gonna ask this question in Vietnamese, okay? So Su giới thiệu chưa? Có giới thiệu cho ba Su chưa?
Yeah.
Giới thiệu rồi á hả? Trong cái gọi là cái giây phút mà mình sắp gặp mặt ba của mình á, Su cảm nhận là Saji đang cảm giác cái gì?
Yeah.
Có cái nỗi lo, cái nỗi sợ, hay là một người rất là tự tin và biết là mình tới đây có mục đích, và mục đích của mình là chứng minh cho ba Su thấy là những cái gì định kiến hả? Hay là cái gì đó?
Yeah, repair rồi, là make plans. Like
Có thể trả lời tiếng Việt như vậy hả?
Lúc mà em với Saji lên plan để mà gặp ba, để giới thiệu cho ba, thì tụi em phải write down, tại vì em là người hiểu ba nhất, cho nên là sẽ ghi xuống là những cái gì mà nó có thể xảy ra, ý là hoặc là những cái câu hỏi khó nhất mà ba em có thể nghĩ ra.
Vậy luôn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Để chuẩn bị là để chuẩn bị những cái tình huống đó, tại vì mình với lại người Mỹ thì nó cũng sẽ khác về cái văn hóa, nên là nhiều khi em sợ anh sẽ bị sốc. Mà gặp ba em là người rất là khó và truyền thống nữa, cho nên là phải chuẩn bị những cái đó, để chuẩn bị tư tưởng trước cho anh để anh không bị sốc.
Tập bao nhiêu lần trước khi đi gặp ba?
Maybe 2 days, no, 3 hay 4 ngày gì đấy.
Wow.
Để chuẩn bị tinh thần là và phải trong khoảng trước cái ngày đó là hai đứa là phải kiểu là phải lúc nào cũng phải tích cực, suy nghĩ tích cực,
vui vẻ ha.
phải vui vẻ.
Trong cái sự chứng minh đó, vậy ba em có công nhận là em đang hạnh phúc và chấp nhận là Saji là có thể là trong tương lai sẽ là ghế không?
Thật ra lần đầu tiên á là ba chưa chấp nhận đâu. Ba cũng kiểu để thăm dò kiểu vậy á, nên là phải là gặp lần thứ hai thì nó dễ hơn. Ba em cũng ý là ba em sẽ không tỏ ra mặt trước mặt bạn này, nhưng mà sau khi mà cái đợt nghỉ Tết rồi á thì em thấy mà kiểu là ba mình nói về cái việc mà em có một bạn trai ở nước ngoài á, thì em thấy ba em cởi mở hơn, và cũng nói về cái việc này đó hơn với cái tâm trạng là vui.
Okay.
Nên em nghĩ chắc đâu đó cũng chấp nhận chút xíu.
Well, congratulations. I mean, congratulations. I was just asking her, before seeing her dad, what was the preparation like, and were there any, and just the patience that you guys have to actually go through a process of writing down questions and stuff. That is absolutely admirable, and that's honestly, cái đó là một cái trải nghiệm. It's an experience that it's hardly a lot of people get to experience, obviously, right? And so what was your feelings like when you saw the dad, like, what was that second like?
Before I was excited to meet him. Actually, I wasn't really nervous. I was just like,
Okay.
I was like, I want to do so much. He's just like, oh wait, chill out, dude. It's like I'm gonna bring out the keyboard and then I'm gonna show we're gonna sing a song and it's gonna be happily ever after. And it's like,
Yeah, I told him that my dad really love about like play guitar.
Okay.
yeah, dude. It was just I don't know. It's a whole Disneyland, but it was cool though. I like.
I love that you were positive the entire time, right?
Yeah.
You were positive about it, and I think he feels that energy. So, in your mind right now, do you what do you think about, the cultural differences you've heard versus your experience, if you've heard any?
I heard it was like very like dangerous. People steal your stuff. But I don't think I was walking around like literally like, who's that? Don't touch that. Put it down. like for real. Like
I know what you mean.
But I haven't had anyone. Sometimes I walk out like this and I'm like, oh wait, somebody can just snatch you. I'm in the city. I am in the city. So,
That's crazy.
but it seems it's just. What I think now is just like it's just safe, Just
So I mean, like, what are some of the habits where you feel like, okay, I gotta change a little to sustain this balance with Sue?
I changed pretty much everything in my life. I was just running off a lot of habits, or like old habits, and I started meditating and being more mindful of my breath, and I started to respond to life rather than react a little bit more. And it's teammates, so we're learning to be teammates and work together, and like that makes everything much easier. So like I always sought a relationship for love, but it's like I have both a partner
the best
in
of
love.
both worlds.
Yeah.
And he's gonna make me cry because he's like, dude, come on, like I'm missing all of that stuff. What about you, Sue? Like, what are some habits that you feel like you've had to adjust in order to balance this relationship?
Yeah, I have to change that. Like I have to listen more. Like and also I need to learn that I have to trust him more. And like I learned that I will do faster if he helps me.
You both learn teamwork as the foundation for your relationship. That is crazy. Were you always a helpful person before Sue, or was Sue the motivation for you to become a helpful person?
I think we had some people that offered us perspective in our relationship that we trusted, and we took that advice and we just like, okay, yeah, let's work together. So yeah,
I love it. Like this leads on to about what this podcast is about is life-changing habits, and you guys have changed some of the bad habits that you've had in order to sustain this relationship. And I think what is the greatest motivation for you guys? If you had an advice from me, and anyone else out there who is, I guess, in a lonely spot, unless we really carefully examine this, in Vietnamese I'm saying unless cái sự cô đơn này, unless mình quan sát nó cẩn thận, unless I observe it, I can fall in love with someone who isn't going to really be beneficial for my career, as far as not speaking the same love language. She may be too jealous all the time. They have to sit and explain stuff to her. Like, what are some of your advice that why patience is right? Because when you find that right person, because obviously I feel like you have the right person. Tell me how that feels to just so that I know I need to continue waiting and not just go fall in love with somebody.
to me it all starts with the spirituality, and you deserve to feel good. Like right now, you deserve. It's coming for you, bro. If you're alive for the greatest good, it's gonna happen at the perfect time, perfect moment. I was thinking like, man, I wish I'd have met Sue way earlier, and I was like, nah. I met her right where like.
Right.
Yeah, me too.
What about you, Sue? You can answer this in Vietnamese. Cho những chị em phụ nữ của mình ở ngoài kia, những người mà đang trong cái tình trạng gọi là đang kiếm tình yêu, đối với Sue cái gì quan trọng nhất để cho họ tiếp tục cái sự kiên nhẫn mà không có lao vào một cái gọi là tình cảm hay là tình yêu mà họ chưa chắc chắn sẽ đem lại cho họ hạnh phúc?
Đây là một câu hỏi khó. Nếu mà theo bản thân em thì mình cứ tự tin vào bản thân mình phải biết điểm mạnh của mình như thế nào, cũng như là điểm yếu của mình như thế nào để mà tìm một cái người phù hợp. Bởi vì thật lòng giống như là khi mà cái karma vậy đó, thì nếu mà mình muốn chơi đùa với người đó thì chắc chắn cái người đó có thể là sẽ chơi đùa với mình. Nếu mà mình thật lòng, mình luôn luôn thật lòng với họ thì đôi lúc thì chắc chắn mình sẽ có bị tổn thương đó, nhưng mà đâu đó thì mình vẫn nên giữ cái pace cũng như là cái nguồn gốc, cái con người thật của mình không nên thay đổi cái con người của mình. Thì
Cái thật lòng của Su nói có phải là khi Su đọc được cái câu cuối cùng cái Saji trên đó, cái câu đó Su cảm thấy anh này thật lòng muốn học hỏi về culture của Việt Nam, thì có lẽ là cái năng lượng đó đem cho Su đến đúng người. Thì tại Sơn hỏi cũng cho Sơn thôi, tại Sơn rất là tin về cái vụ năng lượng này ha. Như Su đang nói, mình luôn luôn phải là một người biết giá trị của mình, và đừng có để người khác đánh cái giá trị cho mình, và mình sống theo cái giá trị của người khác. Thì Sơn chắc chắn nghĩ rằng Su là một người biết cái giá trị của mình, và trong cái giá trị đó Su đã kiếm được một người đàn ông rồi. I mean, như Saji, vậy cho những chị em nào mà họ làm sao một người mới biết được giá trị của họ, và nếu biết cái giá trị của mình rồi cũng như là nó chưa có xứng đáng với cái mình muốn, vậy làm sao mình nâng cái giá trị của bản thân lên để cho mình có một cái sự tự tin hơn. Vậy hỏi câu này ha, cái sự tự tin của Su từ đâu đến? Vì khi Su ở ngoài đó, Sơn thấy Su rất là tự tin. Mình nói giả tỷ như là đang chơi football đi. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Because I think Su has some advice that the Vietnamese girls can really use, because she's obviously confident out there, and I feel like that confidence radiates from somewhere. And if we can dig a little deeper, I feel like there are people out there who can really use this version of Sue, this confident version of her. So I'm just trying to dig deep.
Em nghĩ là em vừa nghĩ ra một cái, có nghĩa là trước đây thì ai cũng đã từng phải đau khổ, bản thân em cũng vậy. Trong mối quan hệ đó em không bao giờ nghĩ cho bản thân mình. Em luôn luôn nghĩ về cái người bạn trai cũ của em, để làm sao mà hy sinh. Tại vì người phụ nữ Việt Nam mà thì hay là hy sinh, cũng giống như là mình học theo từ những người lớn hơn. Người phụ nữ lúc nào cũng phải cơm nước ở nhà, ở chợ, còn chồng thì là sẽ kiếm tiền, đúng không? Nên là đôi lúc thì em cũng kiểu bị như vậy, thì mình sẽ hy sinh, và khi mình hy sinh thì mình sẽ đánh mất bản thân mình. Và mình đánh mất bản thân mình thì nếu như cái cuộc tình đó nó suôn sẻ thì không gì, nhưng mà nếu mà nó có một lúc nào đó mà mình hy sinh cho người ta quá, mình dựa dẫm vào người ta quá, thì mình sẽ bản thân em sẽ nhận lại là cái sự không tôn trọng.
Vậy khi nào Su biết rút lui một cái relationship mà mình cảm thấy như là mình ok, đủ lắm rồi, và sau khi đó Su đã cải thiện thành Su của ngày hôm nay?
Trong cái khoảng thời gian mà em chia tay cái mối quan hệ cũ thì cũng có một khoảng thời gian đó là em không có quen ai, để mà mình bình tĩnh lại, mình kiểu là học hỏi về kiểu là find yourself.
Well, I wasn't a very confident version of myself either, but it was that investment of time, believing that I can be a better version, and I think because I kept working at it, that was adding on value to myself. Each day, the more I worked on myself, I added some value, right? And that value eventually allowed me to really see my worth, my self-worth. And I think, one of the things that you went through and Sue went through and I went through was a process of self-improvement, right? And I think in that process, a lot of things changed, not just physical, because you were a really big guy before too when you played football, right?
Yeah.
Goes back to what we're talking about, and just kind of end here on the good note about energy. So they say, your thoughts create your reality, and your reality is the energy that gravitates, towards whatever it is your thought is. I think by doing this show, and we're going to really make try to make a difference.
Cuộc sống này, mỗi người một thói quen. Mỗi thói quen tạo một thực tế. Mỗi thực tế một câu chuyện. Câu chuyện của bạn sẽ là một bài học để truyền cảm hứng, đánh thức động lực, đem lại giá trị cho người cần nghe. BTS Healthy Habits hy vọng podcast Thói quen đổi đời sẽ trở thành một nền tảng luôn truyền cảm hứng qua những câu chuyện đầy cảm hứng của những người đã từng trải và khao khát chia sẻ những thói quen đổi đời đến những ai muốn và cần nghe.